Greetings, this is the OSUIT Library, and today we're going to go over how to find tutoring for courses. Now keep in mind this is only for online tutoring. If you want to see an actual tutor like in person, you'll want to go to the Lasso Center. They're in the Learning Resource Center, just like the library is. In fact, they're just across the hall from us, and they have tutors that you can drop in to see. You don't even have to make an appointment. So they're open Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. until 5:30 p.m., and then Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Back to the online tutoring. So we're going to come over here to this left-hand side. I'm going to click courses, and we're just going to use college strategies as an example. You can also access it from here if you'd like. Now, quick note, I am technically an instructor. I am not a student. And so there are some things that I can show you, some things that I can't, but I can at least show you the basic steps. And then we're going to come down here and look for tutor.com 24/7 online tutoring. So the reason why I'm not giving you like a specific location is because it is really up to the instructor how this part is organized. So even if I tell you it's underneath Google Drive, for me, it may not be for another instructor. But as long as you look for tutor.com 24/7 online tutoring, this will always take you to tutoring, regardless of how the instructor organizes the course. So we're going to click on that. Keep in mind, it opens up a new tab. And then we are here. So we're going to scroll down. If we want to work with a tutor, we come down here where it says connect with a tutor now. We're going to press this yellow button right here that says connect now. And we're going to be taken to this page where it's going to ask us some questions. So you have quite a few options for this topic part, for example. So we're just going to go with math since that's the very first one. And then we'll do college algebra, math 1513. So underneath that, you're going to have two options. You can either do chat only, so that's just without voice, without video. So think like the little chat bots that you see on websites, except instead of it being a bot, it's an actual person. Or you can do chat along with voice. If you do choose voice, just make sure you have microphone capabilities. Make sure that like your volume's turned up and everything so that you can hear. And then you can get help from there. And then this next part is question. And so this is just best practice, but try to be as specific as you can. So you can either type out the word problem or question that you have, or if you even look down here, there is an attach a file option. So if I click on that, it's going to ask me to choose file. And when I do that, it's going to pop up and it's going to ask me to select something to attach. So we'll just do this, for example, press open. And now that file is attached. So when I send it to the tutor, this will be sent along with it. But if I don't want to do that ultimately, I can also just press remove right here. And now it's gone. And then once you fill out all of that, you're going to press submit. Now, I'm going to scroll all the way up here. So if you look up here towards the top, you will see something called the honor code. It's not required that you read it. However, I'm going to go ahead and post it up because I do want to make some things very clear. Number one, tutoring is not answer giving. So if you send them like a question or a problem, they're not just going to submit. They're not going to just give you an answer like the answer is 10 and then you just go along your way. They will work with you and they'll help you guide you through like how to solve the problem. They'll identify things to work on. Like for example, on papers, they may identify a certain grammar error that you keep on making and they'll maybe mark one or two, but they'll expect you to go back through and check everything. So ultimately, even though you're working with a tutor, you are still the one who is making the changes and you're still responsible for what is on that assignment when you submit it. Also, if the instructor says do not obtain assistance, do not obtain assistance. So think like quizzes, for example. This next one is obvious. Please don't take work that's not yours and claim it as your own. In terms of anything AI, like using ChatGPT, Google Gemini, always ask your instructor to look at the syllabus. In fact, asking the instructor and looking at the syllabus is always a really surefire way of figuring out what you can and can't do. I can tell you, as a former instructor, I would rather you ask and have clarity than take a chance and submit, only to find out that you technically didn't adhere to the assignment. I have had many awkward conversations about plagiarizing. I've even had my work plagiarized as a published author, and I could tell you that I don't want to have the conversation just as much as you do. And I'm sure your instructors don't either. So let's just not have it and just ask and just do the work ourselves. I'm going to scroll up here. I'm going to press this little exit. Now, if you want to say submit a paper, for example, you'll want to choose the second option, which is drop off your work, and you'll want to select writing review. And it's kind of similar to the tutoring in terms of how it's set up. So your topic in this instance is essay drop off, whether or not it's 1113, that's your Comp 1 course, or 1213, which is your Comp 2 course. So choose whichever course you're in. We'll just keep it on 1113. And then the second question is, what is the topic of your paper? So you're just going to write out what your paper is about. Again, try to be as specific as you can, include maybe like your thesis statement, maybe some of your argument points, etc. And then this third one is, where are you in the writing process? So you have a couple of options. This first one, saying I think it needs a lot of work still, this is for like when you're towards the very, very, very beginning. Like you've just started writing, or you have a very, very rough draft. And so when you do that, a bunch of other options are going to come up. And it'll ask you where you want the tutor to kind of focus. So maybe you want them to just look at your argument, making sure you're properly supporting it. Maybe you want them to see if you're citing sources correctly. Maybe you just want to see about grammar, sentence construction, like word choice, etc. You can choose up to 2. And those same options will be available to you if you choose the second one. I think I'm on track, but ready for feedback. That's if you have a maybe more polished rough draft and you're still just wanting to make sure that you're supporting your argument. You're kind of looking at like those higher up, like organization type of things. But then this third option, I think it's almost perfect, but I want an extra set of eyes. If I click that, those options go away. So this is really for when you have pretty much a draft ready to be submitted to the instructor and you just want someone to kind of look over it really, really broadly just to make sure there's nothing really obvious, like super obvious misspellings, things like that. And then this next one, it's asking to describe your assignment, any instructions you've received. So again, I would suggest you be as specific as you can here, only because we want to make sure that whatever the tutor gives you is something that you can actually use. So if they give you a recommendation and technically it doesn't adhere to the assignment, or it's something your teacher specifically said, I don't want to see that, that's not really going to help you. And then this last part is citation format. That's just how, when you cite your sources, how they are structured. So in your instance, most of the time you're going to choose MLA as your option, especially if we're talking about Comp 1 and Comp 2, you're almost always going to use MLA in those courses. And then lastly, you'll see the attach a file portion, just like with the tutoring. And it's just the same as before. You're going to choose your file, and then we're going to choose a document. We'll choose this one. Not entirely sure what it is, but oh well. And then it'll attach it. So whenever you send this, this is going to come with it. If I don't want it, I can do the same thing as I did before. Just press remove, and it removes the file. And then press submit. So I will suggest when it comes to something like essay drop-off that you give yourself a little bit of a buffer. So give yourself at least 2 days. So that's 1 day for them to email you feedback, because this will normally take about 12 hours, give or take. And then 1 day for you to go through and fix the paper and incorporate that feedback. Ideally, I would say give yourself a 3 to 4 day buffer in case there are some things that you don't understand. And so you need to go back through the process and ask any type of clarifying questions. Now, if you're just looking for resources, you're not really looking for tutoring, this next one called Test Prep and Self-Study has some resources and quizzes that you can use. So you can take practice quizzes, for example, like over algebra and things like that. If you are looking at possibly grad school in the future, there is some test prep for that. So like GRE is a general graduate school admissions. GMAT is business, LSTAT is law, MCAT is medical. So if you're interested in any of those, you can click on that. But the one I really want to show you is the Skill Center Resource Library. So think like extra problems or worksheets that you can use to practice certain concepts, or even like videos. So let's say that the word problems in algebra are killing me, which, spoiler alert, all of algebra is still really rough for me, but that's okay. We're still trying our best. And so we're going to come all the way down to word problems right here, and we're going to press search. And it's going to give me some websites. It's going to give me some videos. So like this video lesson right here. This is another one. But maybe I search for something like, let's do factoring. I press search. So again, we see our websites and everything else. Oh. And if we come down here, we have even more options. So like we have flashcards, we have videos again, but more importantly, if we come all the way down here, we have like worksheets, and we even have some quizzes. So that's how you use tutor.com through Canvas. If you have any questions or need additional help, you can contact us. Our information is in the description box, or you can comment down below.